The name of this story time is Unfortunately. My job permanently closed without telling me, unfortunately. I need to get this shit out of my system, so prepare for that. Okay. The reason I know all of this shit is so wrong is because I have so much fast food experience, I'd say 2 or 3 years. So, use this as a guide to things to look out for in a failing business. So this happened 2 days before Christmas, a day before Christmas Eve on the 23rd. For context, my mom drives me up, and guys, I was looking so cute. I worked up the courage to wear a wig and makeup and accessories and try for better tips, because it's like a serving job that my role was. We see no cars, but a man taking frozen foods in and shoving it in the back of his truck. And when we get close enough, there's a sign that says they're closed. And then under that, there's a second sign that says, for staff, we'll be back tomorrow, dated 3 p.m. Sunday, and a name. That name was the district manager, as you'll find out. So it had been a whole 24 hours, and there had been no news, and there were no cars, and people were taking things away. So not a good sign. So I had heard nothing, and it was clearly not open, so I texted the assistant manager. Is work closed today? I only see one dude here taking truck or something. I saw a sign on the door, who the heck is blank, if you don't mind me asking? And she said, blank is the district manager. That's who it was signed, by the way. He had closed the store down yesterday. I texted the group chat assuming you were in it. You can go ahead and pick up your paycheck, though. And I said, is it closed permanently? Because my mom asked me to ask that. I didn't even think of that. And she said, yes. And I said, okay, crap. I'll go back and get it. Thanks for letting me know. And she said, you're welcome. Sorry, I didn't let you know yesterday, but I completely forgot you weren't in the group chat. So yeah, that happened. Okay, so we came back to the restaurant so I could pick up my first check. And guess what? Guess what was wrong with the check? It was $52 for 17 hours of work. No one told me when I clocked in that serving only made you $3 an hour. I was told I was hired at $12 an hour. No one ever at any point told me. I've never served before, specifically, so that's why I had no idea. I was expecting at least minimum wage if they were going to do something like that. I had no clue, no idea, any way, shape, or form. And I only made about 100 in tips this paycheck, and I spent it all on Infinity Nikki like any girl would. The first day that I started here was the first day that Infinity Nikki came out, and I have not stopped playing every day since. But I did not expect 2 to 3 per table. I did not expect such lowballing. This place lowballed me hard. So yeah, my assistant manager told me that if I have any problems getting another check, the next check I'm owed, that I should text her. I should be getting a call from the girl boss above the general manager soon. Hopefully no debt collectors or scam callers will call between then and now. I'll probably just have to answer all of my calls like a fucking barbarian, like a wild woman, for 2 whole fucking weeks. The former GM, now it's time for some tea. The former GM had briefly posted an inflammatory Facebook post about the closure, citing unsavory business practices. And he claimed it was the girl boss above him, the district manager, that had some unsavory business practices. And I unfortunately do not have the receipts for that because my mom said it was taken down the same day. I could totally see like a lawsuit happening because this whole situation. I really hope it does, and I hope they get their asses sued. But anyways, let's rewind a little bit so we can talk about the red flags that led to this point. Let's discuss where I should have known where to jump ship in vaguely chronological order. Me and my mom had eaten there twice, and there was a few red flags. The second time my mom had eaten there, she decided it was too disgusting, and this was way before I interviewed. The oil dripping from her tater tots, or was it pickle fries? I think it was pickle fries. The pickle fries were black. It was like a dark brown black, like they don't clean their freaking oil. And let me just say, it is my opinion, allegedly, that they never changed the oil the entire time I was there. We're somewhere like Wendy's or Arby's or somewhere, they drain like multiple times a day. Definitely singularly in a day. You see them do it, you know what's happening. But I just never witnessed it, if it did happen. And I believe the first day I came in, there was some dirty black oil chilling in the stock room for a few days. And I'm not sure if they had an official way to dispose of it. Anywhere else would have a dedicated, like, huge ass vat to grease waste. And if they had it, I never saw it. But that's just allegedly assumption opinion, okay? Because I don't know. And let me tell you guys about the day that was a whirlwind. It was like kind of crazy. I was just chilling and unemployed, and I was like kind of wanting to work retail. And my mom was like, I saw a Facebook post from, that place that had the black oil. And yeah, from there I went inside and I was like, I heard y'all were hiring from Facebook. Do you have a physical application or an online application? And she was like, we can actually just interview you right now. And I was like, okay. And the manager interviewed me. But guys, when I was interviewing, I looked so cute. I had on my tiny little Chinese red glasses and a beret and a 3-tone pink sweater. It was really cute, guys. Really slayed that literal one question interview he gave me. He asked where I worked before. I said Arby's, and he asked how much I was paid, and he said that he'd give me the same, which did not happen. It did not happen. He said they start people off at $10.50. Never said anything about the $3 thing. Okay, so my first day was ridiculous, guys. I went on drive-thru, and in like an hour I had it down. And so they were like, okay, I know you have it down, so I'm gonna go take a break. And there were no managers while that break occurred. There were no managers, no assistant managers, no shift leaders, nothing. And so us employees had to know like everything, and I was new. So I had to ask a bunch of people so many questions. They got a little frustrated with me, but it's okay. Oh my god, the first day out was such a mess. I can't even explain it. There was this one moment where I was trying to do cards manually because no one told me how to scan it, because there was no tap reader, like a card processor that has chip, tap, and all of that. It's just one little slit that was on the side of the POS system that I didn't notice. So I was entirely putting in cards manually, which is a pain in the ass if you don't know, because it's 16 numbers, and then it's a pain in the ass. Everybody knows it's a pain in the ass. Okay, So now that I've gotten all of that out of my system, I'm just gonna list all of my freaking grievances. Whew. Okay. It was the raw chicken water that would just be sitting out by the wrong sink for me. It was so nasty. It was so nasty. Does anyone remember that SpongeBob Christmas special song? It goes like, oh, Krusty Krab, oh, how I love you, Krusty Krab. Your price is high, you're serving small. There's stains of mustard on the wall. I love that. I love that, and it's bars. And when he said that, I really felt that. Especially at this place. Every single employee who worked there, employees to managers, all equally said, I hate this place, verbatim, multiple times. Which is a huge red flag that I should have noticed. Okay, and apparently, more tea. Apparently the girl boss who handed me the paycheck was responsible for switching banks before payroll cleared, causing checks to bounce. Which is extremely unfortunate because apparently, like, one of the older women there was only one person older there than me, I'm pretty sure, actually. She was crying all day because she had an $800 check bounce. Like, imagine being a grown adult and getting your checks bounced at work. I cannot imagine. I'm a little scared that this check is gonna bounce, and it's only for $52. Oh, and considering that, direct deposit is not considered the restaurant's way, if that makes sense. I don't want to say the restaurant's name, but they said it's not the restaurant's way of doing things, but bouncing checks was. And leaving 20 employees unemployed was. If you can't keep your staff like over 21, you probably aren't a good place to work. You need to run in fast. This is a story for another day, but I worked somewhere else that exclusively hired literally only little Hispanic girls, which I thought was the weirdest red flag ever. They had some orientation-y contracts that would have you work free for 2 weeks. I don't want to say most people would sign up for that, but you know, people who aren't from this country, people who are super duper young, of course, they're the most vulnerable targets. It's predatory when a workplace only has people under 21. I believe it is predatory. Just an ounce. Forgot to mention, they also thought I was a teenager. They asked if I was over 18, and I was like, yeah, I'm 25. And he was like, wow, you're older than me. He thought I was a teenager and was gonna hire me on that basis. And another grievance, the mold in the ice cream scoop, the mold in the custard, the filth, the ick. I almost puked at work the second I saw the bottom of it was like this shallow tin with running water that they would put the peanut butter thingy in 2 scoops. It had the worst mold I've ever seen in my life. It was like green and fuzzy and moving and gray, and it literally looks like it hasn't been cleaned ever since they came here, because it's been about a year. I think a year is about how long it's been since it's been cleaned. That's what it looked like, and I'm not kidding. And I don't know how in God's name we had a 96.5 rating, because everything was wrong in terms of sanitation. Like, if I was a health care worker or whatever the hell, the health department, if I was a healthcare department, I'd shut them down immediately, because it's more than just wearing watches and drinking drinks in the wrong places. It's like health violations. But anyways, yeah, the scoops, they had barnacle-y rust on them as well, in addition to the mold, which is just ridiculous. The mold wasn't on the scoops, the mold was in the thing holding the scoops, if that makes sense. I hope I described that accurately. But I was the one who cleaned it, so it's been cleaned now. Another kind of mold adjacent thing that I don't know how to describe is, you know, those black nozzles that you twist off when you work fast food, for every single drink. They were never taken off. I saw them take them off once, and they would just leave them on overnight, which is really, really bad. They didn't have like sanitizer, you know, like you're supposed to do dishes with it, you're supposed to wash tables with it. They didn't have it. What they did use was probably food safe. Like I'm no specialist in the actual like managerial side of things, but it was these blue tablets, and we would get 2 of them, and that's what we would mop with, that's what we would wash tables with, that's what we would spray toilets with. Also, the rags, they were never changed, and the water would murk up and look all cruddy and be there for days and days and days. I would leave a rag in the bucket and it would be in the same position the next day. That actually happened in the ice cream zone. The ice cream zone disturbed me to no end, guys. Oh, the rags? Guess what? They were washed by employees. Not by the managers, not by anything. Some random girl, she was like, be careful, don't use too many of those. I have to wash them myself. I was like, Jesus, girl. I would not be doing laundry for these people. Everyone hates this job. Prep was very disorganized. Truck was very disorganized, and everything was always out. There was not a single day I went there without having to acquire a list of things that were out of stock. It would be like chicken, onion rings, whatever. I would have customers sit in the lobby and only get drinks and immediately leave, because I would go to them and they would say their order, but half the order was missing, and they'd just leave. Clearly the company lost money in those transactions as well with the drinks. Okay, so like there was one day I was there for 2 hours, clocked in, doing nothing, waiting for truck and prep. I went to the store with the assistant manager because I had, quote, nothing to do, and they opened at 3, I believe. This is a corporation. This is not a small mom and pop business. Like, this was disturbing. I have never encountered such shoddy management in my entire work career. Manager unprofessionalism is my least favorite aspect of the entirety of fast food service, honestly. But this place takes the cake. There were people sitting and vaping on the clock. People. Everyone. Managers and employees would vape in the back of house and front of house and outside. There was somebody, I don't know who it was, but I'm pretty sure it was someone very high up who was charging a weed vape at work. And not to be a snitch or anything. Not to be a snitch. I don't care. I have mine in my bag. The problem is when you are charging it at work. I would never, ever, ever in my entire life charge weed openly at work. And I'm not a manager. Oh, okay. The most criminal, it should be criminal thing. that the GM did is, if you have a lot of Christmas spirit, okay, he crashed into the Christmas tree and he left it with one red bow. It was beautiful. It had 3 different colors of tinsel. It was really, really pretty and sparkly, and there were gifts under it and ornaments, and he just destroyed it. People said it was the saddest little tree they've ever seen. My question for y'all, if anybody ever watches this, would be, am I counted as legally working somewhere if they never took my social security or ID? I'm not sure what step that does, but I skipped that step. I don't know what it does. I think it's just for security or something. I don't know. But every other place I've worked has done it. This place never was able to. The management, they would leave for Walmart or bank or breaks randomly as hell. So there would be no managers present. And I would need a manager's codes for things like cashiering. But it's so frequent that employees had to memorize manager codes, which I think is extremely dangerous. Do you want to get robbed? How bad of a manager are you if you're allowing people to memorize your codes? That's wrong. And one last story. This is the very last story, okay? One day I came in and everyone was sitting at the door, and I was like, "Are we open?" And the GM was like, "Yeah, but I quit. This is my last day." Context, it wasn't his last day. He had gotten back into nursing, and I'm happy for gays getting money, but this was extremely strange to come into work and have the only person running the store to be jumping ship. That's when I truly began to question my job security. But anyways, I'm gonna wrap it up here. It wasn't a great place to work. I got tips. I wouldn't be so far in Infinity Nikki if I hadn't earned this tip money, so I'm a little grateful for that. Level 43, anybody? Sometimes a bitch will work her ass off for just weed and game money. That bitch is me. And I don't know what I'm going to do for income for however long this takes to monetize. But yeah. Bunny blessings.